Ladies and gentlemen, before we get into today's conversation, I want to share a little bit about 2Before, today's presenting sponsor of the podcast. I've worked with 2Before for over 2 years now, and it's really cool to work with partners long-term, and 2Before has been there for me for a long time, and they make an incredible product that I'm always happy to talk to you guys about. Breaking down 2Before for you, if you're unfamiliar, 2Before is made up of blackcurrant powder, and if you're not familiar with blackcurrants, they are antioxidant berries grown in New Zealand, and studies have shown that consuming them regularly improves endurance by increasing blood flow and removing lactic acid, and they also can manage inflammation and kickstart muscle recovery, meaning you can hit your next training session just as strong as you did the previous day. Today, I have a special code for you, the Running Effect 30, which will give you 30% off of your purchase. And I'm really excited to hear the testimonials of you guys trying it out because I firmly believe this stuff works and is a great asset to your training. Without further ado, enjoy my conversation of the podcast today.
It's the people who run 333, 334 who are saying we're not doing the 15 this year. It's too good of a field. We're gonna go do a different event. And then you saw in the pre before you make it to the final, how many big names, collegiate record holder doesn't make it, in the national championship, a winner doesn't make it. If you have those guys missing out in the final, it's an insane year.
You know him, you love him. He's back. Simeon Birnbaum, that was just him, ladies and gentlemen. Today he's back on the podcast to recap and to document his sophomore year track season, where he made an NCAA final in the 1500 meters, where he was an NCAA All-American. He also ran in the International Mile at the Prefontaine Classic, where he ran 356.64 to close out his season after going out in that race incredibly hot, as he walks through in this conversation. He also ran 13:31.87, winning the 5K at Big Tens, which was a meet record. And we talk about him staying healthy, building momentum, his thoughts and reflections on the sport as a whole, how far he's come, tips for summer training, his ambitions for cross-country season, and so much more. Of course, anytime I get Simeon on the podcast, it's a pleasure and privilege. And so if you enjoy this one, share it with a friend, a family member, a teammate, someone who you think would find value and benefit from it. Give us a 5-star review. It'll take 5 seconds. And hit the follow or subscribe button so you never miss another episode. That would greatly help us out and help us expand the show. Without further ado, enjoy this conversation with the king himself, Simeon Birnbaum. Ladies and gentlemen, he's not back, he's better. Simeon Birnbaum, ladies and gentlemen, this time without his deadly duo partner, Connor Burns. He will be back one of these days, but today just Simeon. How you doing, man?
Doing good, yeah, thanks, Dominic.
Got to ask you, ran the Prefontaine Mile, or I don't even know what they call International Mile a few days ago.
International Mile,
Yeah. What's the deal with that, man? It's I feel like that. Why are there 2 miles there?
I don't know. I was happy about it because I got to do one, but I think just probably because there's so many people wanting to do the mile, they're like, if we're gonna cut this many people out of this many Americans out of the Bowerman Mile, we should just make another one and just let them run anyways.
The other funny thing is the woman's side. There's only the 15, right? There's no mile.
Yeah.
I don't know what they're smoking.
I don't know either. I was hoping to do the 15. The mile is so messy with the start. I was hoping just do the 15 and let the Bowerman guys do that. But now we both got to do the mile.
Next time. So, are you on a break now? That's the question.
Yeah, I'm officially on vacation.
And how many months of running nonstop?
Not that many, sadly, because I was hurt in the winter, so maybe 3 or 4.
Still a couple months. I feel like you've been injured a lot, so
couple months.
Does it feel nice? Did you feel ready for it?
For the end of the year, or
for your break? Were you feeling burnt out, or do you wish you could keep going?
Kind of in between. I could keep going, but also in the collegiate season, I felt like I raced a million times with regionals and nationals, so many heats and stuff. I was kind of ready to just get back to training and not think about the pressure of racing.
So on Saturday, you run the International Mile. You go 356.64. Rate that 0 to 10. Way to close out your season.
4.
Okay.
What
would have a 10 looked like? What was the goal going in?
I wanted to break 350. that would have been nice. I thought I was ready for it, but just wasn't there on the day. But I mean, not the end of the world. At least I didn't lose to like Owen Powell at high school or Sam Ruth. And that would have been the worst possible way to end. So I avoided that, but I did not run well at all.
Do you remember Brooks Peoria your senior year when Owen was like a sophomore and we were all like, who is this kid? And then I think people were like, oh, Andy Powell has a son.
Yeah, I do remember that. Yeah, that's the
Yeah.
first time.
And I think he ran like 4:19. It was dead last in
Uh-huh.
the boys mile, but he's a
If
dog.
you're there as sophomore, you're really good. So
Yeah, you're legit. I will say with him, he had such a long season, but his range from 800 to the 2 mile, I thought he had a crack at Alan Webb's record. We talked about this in our podcast series, so maybe you could speak about this a little bit further. But like to break records, you really have to have it on the day. Like you can be in the shape to do so, but every year we hear kids throw out the Alan Webb thing, and I think he was in shape to do so based on his other races. I just think it's very hard to do.
it was a hard race to do it too because like the pace was so hot so early. We came through in like 55 through 409, and like we were pacing to run 347 or something. And so if you're like trying to run 353, it's really, really hard to do it that way, So it was just hard for people who didn't quite have it on the day. If you just blow up really bad.
Admittingly, I don't think I watched the international mile. Did he go out on that pace? Did you go out on that pace?
Yeah, I mean it was a train. We all went out hard, and then kind of like some people survived, some people didn't, and yeah, I just didn't survive that one.
Does it feel like 55 through 409? Like, does it feel like you're gunning? Or at what point did it start to hurt?
I mean, if you're having a good day, like I did pretty similar when I ran 352 in Arkansas. Like if you're having a good day, you don't really feel it, but if you're not having a great day, I got to like 800 meters and I was like, oh my goodness, how am I going to get through these next two laps? And I went to the third one fine, and the last one was I haven't even looked. I don't want to say splits. It was probably like so poor.
So you knew kind of like 2 laps in, halfway through, that it wasn't going to be your day.
Yeah, my body I could feel the lactate just flooding into me. I was like, oh goodness.
How early on into a race do you know whether it's your day or not?
Yeah, it's hard to say. I mean, it can hit you at different times, but I feel like usually like when you're like 75% in, you kind of know for sure whether you have it or not.
Let's go all the way back. I think I'm trying to think last time we had talked. I think it was after indoor season, before outdoor season. I think a big pinnacle moment for you was Big Tens 5K. We joked about it all growing up about you racing the 5K one day after Connor had broken the record. You broke Connor's high school PR. How did that feel? Brought home the chip.
Yeah, that was a really fun. That was a really fun race. It was crazy field. There was like 50 guys in the field, classic like conference style racing, and I had never run before, so I was like on the second. I was like I wasn't even on the start line. I was like in the second row of people, and I had Nathan Green in front of me. I was like, all right, Nathan, just get out hard and I'll follow you so I can go to the front. But that didn't work, and I just got shot straight to the back. And then it was a fun race. I just moved, like creeped up throughout the whole race, just next group to next group to next group, and then yeah, I got to use my 1500 meter speed at the end against those slow 5K guys.
Slow 5K guys. Okay. Shots fired. 13:31 is moving. I feel like for a championship kind of esque style race. Did it feel that fast to you, or did you feel pretty under control?
I wasn't thinking. I knew it was quick because there's a bunch of like pacers. I don't really know splits in the 5K really, so I wasn't like knowing how fast I was running. I was just thinking about. I was kind of just looking at the clock, saying, "Oh, I probably have around like maybe 5 minutes of this race left." And that's kind of what I was thinking. Just keep staying relaxed. But yeah, I mean, when I saw 13:31, I was kind of like, "Well, that's good. That's quick. That's pretty exciting."
Whose idea was it to do the 5K? You or Jerry? Or mutual?
It was mutual. I mean, I want to do it just because like it doesn't mess with the 1500, and so there's no point. It doesn't mess with my main race. So I was like, I'll give it a go. I mean, it'll be fun to try something different.
Obviously, running fast times is fun. but like winning is what feels really good. What was it like to win a Big Ten title specifically? I think this is the first year with like the conference changes.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun, especially at home. The crowd was really loud for that one, and it was like I was pretty fired up too because 15 was another one of those like sit and kick races. It just didn't feel like a real race, you know. Sometimes if you just jog around and then throw together a wild last 200, it doesn't even feel like a race. So I wanted to get in like a proper race and like the really really hard effort in that. The 5K kind of allows you to take out some energy and really really run yourself hard, and that was what I enjoy about the 5K.
What was it like to run the 15 at Big Tens? And can you speak to how crazy just the conferences when it comes to that event? Like Nathan Green didn't even win Big Tens, and he went all out, and then he goes and wins NCAA's. Crazy.
Uh-huh.
Like that happened
Yeah,
last year too.
yeah. I mean, that's kind of. I feel like how it's been is like if you win you're the Pac-12 or the Big Ten title, you usually win outdoor national. It's kind of like been a common theme, um, or pretty much follows that, or very close. Um, and so yeah, I go into that race knowing like if I can win this, I can definitely win a national championship. It's kind of like just as challenging to do, almost not quite, but you get what I'm saying. But yeah, it was just like it was the year of sit and kick for sure. So many sit and kick races, so many sit and kick prelims. It's just that kind of started, and it kind of got my feet wet into how college 1500 meter running is. And it's fun, don't get me wrong, but that can be so frustrating if the slightest little thing goes wrong in the last lap, and all of a sudden you're fading back to whatever place, and yeah, it's just craziness.
How much do you think that has taught you tactics, both for future years at NCAA meets as well as for future U.S. championships, which I know you have your mind on? Where they are fast a lot of times, but it almost always comes down to that last lap. And I feel like you learn a lot of tactics through those situations.
It's interesting because I feel like USA's and like the rest of the world are running the 1500 meter completely different. Like they're all kind of running like the way Jakob kind of does, and just flat out, just run kind of as fast as they can, and seeing who can hang. And the NCAA is just more like I feel like more like old school, like they used to do like in years past in championship races, and we just sit and kick everything. So I think there's a big difference between um, both, but I think I'm excited. I'm excited to do more honest 1500 running in the future. This year I wasn't quite ready to make it honest myself, but I'm hoping in the years to come I will be ready for that.
Do you like that, Jakob? I mean, you kind of did in high school. You kind of front ran. But what's your preference if you could control the race? If you knew you were the best guy in the race, would you leave it to your kick or would you run from the front?
I think I'll do a little bit of like a hybrid. I think I just take the lead with like a couple laps to go and just kind of squeeze it, not from the gun, but just really put the hurt on with a couple laps to go, and it takes away like I'm usually the faster the race, the more likely the best runner wins. And so if I was the best runner, I just want to make it quick. That give me the best odds.
How nerve-wracking is it when the pace slows up in the beginning? You're running like 10K pace. I know you haven't run a 10K, but theoretically, do you get scared that you're going to trip? Like, take me through regionals, 1500. Debatably more nerve-wracking than like the final itself, because when you get to the final, it's like, okay, we're here at the final.
Yeah.
But regionals, people don't make it every year because of tactical errors and mistakes. What was it like this year?
This year, the first heat was again super slow, and I really liked my tactics on that one. I took the lead with like 400 to go, and just kind of held everyone off, and that was really good. And then I got lucky in my heat to make it to nationals. We got lucky, and someone just went out there and ran like 60s, so it wasn't actually like it was still a little tactical, but not super tactical. So that made it like we got 7 through our semifinal, and um, that was a really good way to do that. So I got kind of lucky with my heat there, but yeah.
NCAA is going into it, your first NCAA outdoor track and field championships. What did it mean to make it? Obviously at home, which doesn't really mean anything. It's at home every year. It's going to be at home every year for you, it seems. But like
Yeah.
at home, what was it like to finally make it? I mean, last year you were sitting at home, or maybe you were in the stands, but way different situation and scenario.
Yeah, I mean, from the last year to this year is completely different. I mean, from barely running last year to making all the national championships felt really good. It was good to just get the last one in this year, and I knew like cross country is I wasn't really ready for that indoors. I was injured going in, but this time I was like, all right, I'm healthy, I'm ready to go. Like, this is my national championship this year to do really good at. So I was super excited.
So many questions. What was I going to ask you? When you look at that field, obviously, debatably, one of the deepest fields in NCAA 1500-meter history. What was your thought on it going into it? Just the amount of firepower.
Yeah, I mean it was ridiculous. I mean, so many fast times, so many good runs. Like you had like let's see, like people who run like 333, 334 who were saying we're not doing the 15 this year. Like it's too it's too good of a field. Like we're gonna go do a different event. And then you saw them like in the prelim before you make it to the final, like how many big names, like the collegiate record holder doesn't make it, like in the national championship, winner doesn't make it. Like a few of those guys missing out in the final, like it's an insane year. And so the final field definitely looked a little different than I thought it would be, but yeah, the way we ran it was perfect for a lot of those guys because I mean the way the prelim ran was just the big kickers all made it to the final.
Perspective when you see Liam not make it, Colin not make it, what are you thinking? I mean, just factually on paper, how crazy is it that the NCAA record holder in his own event doesn't even make the final? With all the love in the world to Liam, it's crazy.
Yeah, no. I mean, I didn't know what to think. I feel like I'm trying to think if it was they ran for us and we were in like call room, watching on the TV before we go out and we saw them jogging like, oh, this is not going to be good because some big names are going to be left out when they run like 220 through 800, like crazy stuff is going to happen. And we walk onto the track and we see as they're finishing, we walk onto the track and we see them all come across the line. I didn't know like who you couldn't. It was just a sheet of people, and then we see the names like coming up on the board. And like, no offense, like the guys who weren't the favorites, but I saw some names I didn't even really recognize. And I was like, oh boy, some big dogs got left out. Like, this is no joke. Like I gotta be ready to run this perfectly to make it. So it's really nerve wracking actually to see like guys that you think are really good and you're really worried about not making the final. It's nerve wracking.
When you go through 800 and 220 or whatever it is for you when you're jogging around, how slow does that feel? Or does it not because you have all this like pent up energy?
Yeah, it doesn't feel like you're running really because you have so much adrenaline and whether it's like 210 or 225, it all kind of feels the same. Just kind of feel like you're walking, like waiting for the race to start. It's almost just like an extended warm up. So yeah, so it's a weird feeling because you're kind of in your brain. You're just like you got to keep reminding yourself, I'm racing. Like I'm not just jogging here. Like I gotta be ready to go.
Before we get into the final, let's go back to regionals. I think you ran the 5K as well. Didn't make it, if I'm not mistaken. Take me through that race. Were you disappointed at all in that? Did that give you a chip on your shoulder, or was it more just like I made it in the 15? It was a good workout.
Yeah, the 5K was for sure bonus. I mean, obviously I wanted to make it, but I wasn't feeling great that week. I had some sickness from like allergies and just I wasn't like sleeping that great, and so like I wanted to make it, but I didn't. I was like, it's no big deal. The 15 is my event, and that was a really hard race, like really hot and humid. The West is good in the 5K. Like I beat myself up over that. I knew what I wanted to do in the nationals, and that was a 15, so it wasn't a big deal.
It's a Connor type comment, meaning the type of comment I'd make if he was on the podcast for banter's sake. But is it just me, or is the 5K kind of watered down and disappointing this year compared to previous years? I didn't really care for it at the national meet.
Really?
It's just, I don't know, without getting too controversial here. Like 2 years ago, you had like Nico Young versus Parker Wolf last year was really exciting. The year before, I feel like was like kind of the Obdi era. The year, but like I feel like there have been, and this year I was like, Brian, I don't even know how to pronounce your last name. Like, not that interested. Marco guy, he's cool. He's coming up on the scene. Just felt watered down. I don't know.
Yeah, we needed Marco Langen to win that to make it a special race.
Yeah,
but
he's a cool guy. I don't know where he came from, but he's a cool guy. I like his energy.
Yeah, he's fiery. But I mean, I was really excited for that race because I knew how good because Brian Masao is actually Kadali's like one of Kadali's best friends. They're from like the same. They grew up together in Kenya, so I know him pretty well. So I knew kind of the characters in that race, so I really enjoyed it. But yeah, a lot of people probably didn't know the storylines or what was going on.
What's tough is, and he's been on the podcast many times. I consider us loose friends. Like Parker Wolf, so depressing. It's just like you can't take anything for granted. Like based on his 5K at NCAA's last year and then USA's, you would think, okay, he's easily going to win NCAA cross. He's going to win 3K, 5K indoors, and he's going to win 5K, 10K outdoors. It's just tough. Running's brutal.
It is. It's so brutal. I mean, he was probably like in shape to do it like multiple times to win titles this year, and just moments later you're injured and you're back to where you started. And yeah, it's a grind.
What did you tell yourself last year when you were watching the NCAA 1500 meter final?
I tried to enjoy it, to be honest. I was like, let's enjoy some good racing and take it all in. I try to just shut my brain off. I mean, you can't think about it too much. I just try to enjoy it.
But last year, I'm talking about when you're sitting at home. What were you thinking?
Yeah, that's what I was.
Oh, really?
That's what I was thinking.
Really?
Yeah, you can't. I feel like
no fiery thoughts. No, like I'm pissed not to be there. I'm gonna win it all next year.
Fire myself up. I mean, obviously, I want to like do good, but at that moment, you're so far away from that. You're just kind of like, I don't want to put that pressure on myself. I don't want to think about it. I just want to enjoy some good racing.
When did it start to become a reality that you could get back to that spot? And did you ever doubt yourself that you'd ever get back to that spot?
Yeah, there's always a little bit of doubt, but I'd say a cross country season for me was really, really good. Like, I was so super consistent, really good in like consistent training and racing well. And once I do have like a consistent season, that's when I kind of know I'm back. So it was then when you're like, okay, I'm back. I can compete with these guys. So yeah, that was a really good feeling to get through that first, because it's so nerve wracking. You're like, you've been hurt for like 3 seasons in a row, like my freshman year, and you're like, please just let me make it through a full season. And like, you kind of make it through a full season. You're like, all right, I can do this now. I'm starting to figure it out, and that's when I knew I was gonna be fine.
Stand on the start line. Let me ask you before this: do any guys chirp in the NCAA in the call room or no? Does anyone talk?
Yeah, it's all good hearted though. It's like this year is kind of funny. It was I think I would say Nathan Green was probably the most vocal, but he was just expressing like, oh, it's my last race. And a lot of the other guys, their last race in the NCAA, so it's kind of like a bittersweet moment. Like, it's kind of like, I can imagine myself. I can put myself in their shoes, like when it's my last year and I've done it so many times. Like, yeah, it's gonna be a little emotional. So yeah, that was kind of funny.
Take me through the race. What happened? What were you thinking? Last 100, craziness.
Yeah, want to get out hard and just be in the front. I didn't necessarily want to be leading, but it didn't really matter because you're running so slow, so I was fine with it. So yeah, we jogged around. The race started moving with like 400 to go, and I let Spencer went past me, and I just kind of sat on the rail with Spencer in front of me as the race started. And we just ran really quick to like the 100 meters, and we even switched another gear. And then I was just on the rail, just at the mercy of things to open up, and I just never did, which really sucked because, I mean, there's really nothing you do. You just run as fast as you can behind the guy in front of you. I just kind of sat there, and yeah, it was kind of like nightmare feeling, but it really did suck. We kind of finished the race, and then I was like, well, that happened. Hopefully that never happens again.
Do you think you had more? Like, was it a positioning issue or was it like a out of gas issue?
Yeah, just positioning. I mean,
Really?
you can rewatch it. I was just really
So
stuck.
you had more of a kick left.
Yeah,
Damn.
I had more to give.
It's dangerous thing to hear if you're in the NCAA. Still All-American. What was it like to, cap off your sophomore NCAA season in that way and, still have 2 years left? Because I was talking to someone about this, like freshman year, you can chalk off, right? You can be like, oh, it was freshman year. Sophomore year, it's
Hmm.
like, well, in the fall, I'm going to be an upperclassman. And if you haven't done anything, it can get scary. So for you, what
Yeah.
was the mindset around that?
Oh, well, luckily this is pretty much my freshman year, so I still have 3 years of racing. But
Take a
it's
COVID
weird
year,
because
take a medical year, take
maybe
a
I'll do like six. Maybe I'll do 6 or 7.
missionary year.
I could get 6 for sure. Maybe I'll find a 7th somehow and just stay around
Milk it.
forever. Kind of the trend these days. Then I'll be the average age of the races I'm in. I'm 24, but
But perspective on sophomore year, how you closed it.
yeah, I thought it was a really good year. It was. I think it could have been. I mean, you can always go back and say, oh, it could have been. I could have ran faster here. I could have done better here. But no, I'm just happy. Like I feel like a proper collegiate runner now. Like it's a good feeling. And like I really wanted to be like just to feel like I'm just mixing up with the best guys in NCAA, and I'm finally doing that now. And I learned a lot. So it was a really good year.
What did you learn? What did you do with Jerry differently to keep yourself healthy this spring?
Just trained easier, pretty much. Just doing less. Yeah, doing that and just being really dialed on like nutrition and getting in my protein shakes and doing all that stuff, all that fun stuff.
Was it hard doing less, knowing that other guys on the team are doing more, other people are out there doing more, or have you come to peace with like, look, if I do any more, I'm going to get injured, and that sucked, so I'm not even going to desire it?
Yeah, I mean, obviously I always want to train harder, but I've made peace with it. Like I just gotta be patient. One day I'll be able to train, hopefully as hard as I want. Today is not that day. Next year won't be that day. But if I just keep building, someday I'll be able to run 100-mile weeks and hopefully and be healthy. And I'll look forward to that and just take it when it comes.
Was it hard after NCAA is kind of, climax, the peak of your NCAA career so far, to then keep training towards pre? Was the motivation high? Was that difficult? What was that like?
Oh no, I was not happy with NCAA, so I was really motivated. I was like, yeah, I was like, I need a good race, and like, I was not happy getting that way.
Looking back, the Bowerman Mile, I'm assuming you were watching from the stands or something. How crazy was it? Did you see that coming? I feel like we talked about Laros 2 years ago with Connor when he was just coming up on the scene.
Yeah. I thought Yard was gonna win. Like he was my before the race favorite, and with a lap to go, I was like, oh yeah, he's got it. Even with like 50 meters to go, I was like, yeah, he's gonna win. I don't know how. Like I've rewatched it a couple of times. I don't know how Laros closes like that quick in like such a short span because even like 20 meters away from the line, it still looks like Yard's gonna win. But no, it was an electric race. It was so crazy. And Laros like looks over at him as he's crossing the line. It was pretty cool.
So sick. Do you ever think about like, what if a guy like that, a Cameron Myers, like came to NCAA? How much crazier things would be? Be dangerous.
Yeah, they both considered it. I know, so they're not too. One of these years, someone like that is gonna come to the NCAA. But
that's where I think NIL changes it, because before it was like, do you go pro, do you get the money, or do you go the NCAA route? And now I think you can kind of combine the two.
Yeah, it's just pick each one.
Right.
Yeah.
Got to get Jerry on that. Imagine Laros, you, and Cameron Myers on the same team. Would have gone hard.
That'd be so crazy.
Well, I know Cameron Myers wasn't that, like, Oregon was the school he was talking to, I think.
So, yeah, he definitely considered it.
Yeah.
For a while, we thought for sure he was going to come, but I mean, if something's working so well, you might as well just stay.
Right.
Stay. I mean, it'd be so different for him
Right.
to train here. Yeah.
I know cross isn't your fave necessarily, but you were a dog back in high school, and last year you showed some promise. What's the intent with this fall season? What are the goals?
Yeah. So I'm pretty like I'm pretty. I like. I mean, I want to do really good in cross this year. That's kind of why like I'm not doing like racing deep into the summer because I really want to perform really well for our team and for myself. Like we're gonna have a really really strong cross country team, and I think just obviously want to win conference, but I think we're gonna have a team that can go top 3 NCAA's. I mean, it's too early to say. If we're all healthy, that can happen. So I'm praying for that. But yeah, I want to train really hard this summer and be a force and finally be able to hang with the big aerobic 10K guys.
Where is NCAA's this year? Is it back at OSU?
Missouri.
Missouri? Oh, Connor better be
That's
happy,
like,
man.
yeah, it's like Connor's. I mean, he's living in Arkansas now, but pretty much we're still going to call it Connor's home.
His old
I think he's very familiar with the course, so it's still home field. He's got home court advantage.
You guys got to do a bet. Did you hear about the Parker Wolf Ethan Strand bet where if Ethan beat Parker, he had to shave his beard? It's got to be something. It's like if you beat Connor, he's got to shave his head or something. Although he does that already, so it's got to be
We could do that.
a little more juicy.
Maybe you go completely bald this time or something. I don't know. Yeah, but I'm sure Connor will. Yeah, we definitely both think we're not losing to each other, so we could definitely put some crazy bets out there. Maybe we'll do that
Next podcast, we'll have to do that. Speaking on the high school scene sort of things, did you watch Festival of Miles this year? Did you follow the high school scene? Quick takes on in Iowa. There used to be a guy by the name of Jackson Hydish, and we thought he was the second coming. We thought that Iowa was never going to see another guy like him. Quentin Nauman taking over the world by storm. What's your take on this kid?
Yeah, well, first of all, it's coming to Oregon, so smart decision by him. But yeah, he's just raw talent. Like, like the way he ran that festival mile,
Closing in 54.
Like, yeah, I feel like most of the race he was in like lane 2 and stuff as well. Like it didn't look like great technically. Like no offense to him or anything, but it just like his tactics weren't great, and then he just like ran a 54 somehow. It was ridiculous. I was like, this kid is gonna be insane. That race is crazy.
What's your take on Cooper Lawtonhouse? Breaks the record, 800 record, 145.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on at 800 recently in high school. 800 in high school, I feel like just been out of control. I mean, when I was running like 148, was like you competing for a national title, and now it's like terrible.
Crazy.
Like actually, like 148, gets you like nowhere these days. I think I'm so excited to see what he does in high school. He could do some like ridiculous stuff by senior year.
I'm really curious to ask you and Connor about this. I think I texted Jackson Hydish about this. I obviously have natural bias towards the class of 2023 because I myself am the class of 2023. It's like the first time we really did a call room. It was the first time I ever went out to national meets. So there'll just always be good memories associated with that class, both that are spoken and unspoken. And so I'll always be a fan of the class of 2023. But as someone who documents the sport, as someone who's a fan of the sport, every year I do appreciate some high school boys bringing some energy, talking about how they're better than the class of 2023, XYZ. Class of 2024 had some firepower, especially across distances. Mile was maybe a little weaker, and I think the argument was like 2023 carries. Then you fast forward to 2025, and it's like, oh gosh, okay. You go on a Festival of Miles, and it's like, this could be the year that 2023 even looks like a joke, and we get literally 7 guys under 4 in the same race because there were 5 entered in the same race who had already broken 4. Well, kids talk shit, and then they got and run 303, and you only get 2.
Right.
I think it just shows how impressive the class of 2023 is. Like, as these classes are really impressive going in, and then they just don't get it done. What's your take as someone who won the race that is so iconic?
Yeah, I mean, breaking 4 is definitely more common, but it's still challenging. And Yeah, it was ridiculous how we got 4 in the same race, and I still think like some other class is going to do it. Um, but yeah, you gotta have some big dogs who are willing to get the pace going, and uh, yeah, it's yeah, we just did that one night was very special, and it will happen again probably, but probably not very much.
When you look at this past class, obviously the times are remarkable going into a race, but can you speak
Hmm.
on the differences between like a bunch of one-offs from a bunch of kids across the country and then collectively coming together and doing something special? Because there is a difference. If you race 10
Yeah.
times, you can break 4, but to do it all on the same day
Mhm.
at the same time is pretty. And Connor had an off day. Like, I think debatably y'all could have had a 5th.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, I mean, we had a million guys like 4 flat, 4-1, 4-2. Uh, I think that shows like we may have not had like the best times comparatively, um, but I think if you put us in those races that those other kids are running super fast times, we run that time or even a bit quicker. So I just think we're all really, really fit and we were all like really, really good racers. But we would just we didn't always like didn't all have the flashy times that some of the kids have these days. I feel so old saying stuff like that.
2 years ago does feel like a while. Like the fact that
It
you're gonna
does.
be a junior
Yeah,
is crazy.
it is. It
Doesn't
is
feel
weird.
real.
It's hard for me to like picture like because everyone I'm still around is saying like, oh, you're so young, you still have 3 years left. But I feel like this is my 3rd year in school already. I already feel like people are like after next year, like my friends will be graduating college, even though I still have a year left. So like it's a weird feeling because in running I still feel pretty young in the NCAA, but in life I feel pretty old. So it's a weird combination.
Yeah, that is weird. I mean, when I did the series leading into this year's Festival of Miles, I would always ask kids, like, when was the first time you heard about Festival of Miles? And they talked about you like you died. Like, it was like, oh, Simeon back in the day. Like, when he ran through 57. And that's crazy. It was
But
only two it
OG,
was only 2 years ago, but like for a lot of kids coming up, that was like they were freshmen. Like Quentin has a
uh,
picture with Jackson Hydish the freshman year of his state meet as like a fan.
yeah,
Which is
yeah,
crazy.
that's it is crazy. Those guys are now the top. Yeah,
Nuts.
but yeah, I mean I can think of the guys who are kind of like that to me when I was growing up, and that's just how it goes.
It is how it
It's
goes.
weird.
Wrapping up this conversation, a few final questions for you. We're kind of in the thick of summer training for a lot of people listening out there, whether they're training for a marathon or for a lot of people training for cross season. What's the Simeon Birnbaum keys to success for a cross country season?
Easily success. Whew. Um, Run as much as you can without getting hurt. Drink a lot of water. Eat watermelon. Um, Mess around a lot. Just enjoy the summer. You gotta stay an athlete. I feel like be a good runner a lot of the time. So I think having fun is gonna make you like be an athlete. Enjoy the summer and don't get. Yeah, that's good.
That's great. That's great. Speaking of
I
having,
I need Connor to give me some weird stuff to say.
we'll save it. We'll save it for his episode. Final question for you. Speaking of having fun, you're going home soon, back home, South Dakota. I always like have a brain
Hmm.
fart whenever I like say the Dakota because I'm always worried it's the other one, but it's definitely South Dakota, right?
It's
Yeah.
South. Yeah, South
Yeah, I'm
Dakota.
still undefeated. I've never said North Dakota, but I always fear that I'm going to say the wrong one. Anyways, what are you most looking forward to next month before you come back to Eugene outside of running? Is it always fun going home?
Ooh,
Like, do you have your spots, your friends that like aren't
yeah.
into running? Take me through that.
Uh-huh. Most excited for it's probably in between playing disc golf with my buddies because we play so much disc golf when I'm back home, or eating my mom's cooking. It's very close. It's very close between that, and then also between going to the lake. Those three are all pretty tied. I'm like equally excited for all those three things. But that'll be the majority of the stuff I do.
The rotation. I love it. Simeon,
That rotation.
always appreciate it. Thanks for coming back on. Next time, I promise, I can already see the comments. Where was Connor? Blah, 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 blah. The king himself had to come on for a solo episode. So appreciate you, man, and we'll run it back soon.
Yeah, thanks for having me.